How's it going, everybody? Big Toph is big mad right now. She's jealous and crashing out over every single thing in her life. I don't know what happened. Maybe her friend in the shelter didn't give her a hug and kiss goodnight. Maybe she's mad that Mamachu is stealing the spotlight again. Maybe she's realized the GoFundMe money has slipped from her grasp and she's never going to get it again. She's never going to have such an opportunity. But whatever it is, Tophiachu is taking all of her anger out on each and every one of her viewers and whatever influencer they happen to bring up in her comment section. She's even discrediting Brother Chu's name. She's talking trash about Papachu, and it's so crazy. Never once in my life did I think I would defend Brother Chu even just a smidge, but right now it's like, Tophiachu, you do realize he was the only reason you had anything in your life. Look what's happened to you afterwards. But no, Tophiachu doesn't care about that because she's so much better than her brother. And Mamachu has been like the peak defender right now. We used to joke that Mamachu was like a little minion and the big bad would come into the stream, order Mamachu around, and it just had to be, yes, Big Toph, please leave me alone. I'll be good this time. But there's one thing that Tophiachu can't stop Mamachu doing, and that's reading the comment section, because Mamachu, when she's reading the comments, she can't go through her filtered lines that Tophiachu has fed to her, and she ends up exposing Big Toph bad later in the video. I'm telling you guys, make sure to stick around to the end for this one. But let's go ahead and get started with Tophiachu crashing out because other influencers have homes and she doesn't. But she doesn't want one, guys. She doesn't want a home anymore. She's very content with her lifestyle. Don't get it twisted, but she is going to complain about it for hours on end, days on end. You know.
First of all, I didn't blow money. Second of all, I didn't have money to blow. And who cares if people blow money? They blow money on expensive things anyways. Like, why are we comparing influencers to influencers? That doesn't make sense considering the fact that, of course, they're hanging out with large influencers who make money. Of course, you know, that whole influencer college thing was a scam. Like, literally, he ended up picking people that were like small influencers that were already there. What about people at the bottom that are literally trying to make it? Like, these influencers, there's like a lot to it, right? And especially because it's drama filled. Drama is what fuels them to make money. Like, I have to get a place to live. I'm moving from one place to another, from one place to another, from one place to another. I need to get a place. I don't care if someone bought a house before me. My parents were renting to own a house before any of these influencers. So yes, we were renting to own a house before. My parents are not first-time home buyers. So when you talk about, oh, well, someone has a house before you, we were renting to own a house. My dad got sick. He had bipolar, he got sick. That's what caused us to lose the house. Because if you're buying a house in this market, it's a horrible time to buy a house in this market. Because eventually, yeah, you can buy a house, but then you're going to end up having troubles with your house and end up having to sell it and then have a hard time selling it because it's a horrible time to buy a house or sell it. That's one thing you got to look at when buying a house.
Tophiachu's jealousy is literally peaking 10 out of 10 right now. Does she not really understand that when these influencers put on like, hey, come one, come all, every single person who wants to be famous online, come to this house and we're gonna make content. This could be your big opportunity. It's literally just a ploy for the big content creator to pull everyone else in and get the most money out of the situation. Everybody knows that. When Kaisenat does this, when Adam22 does this, there's not a big chance that a content creator is actually going to get a following from this because it's not about them. It's literally just for like the bigger content creator to make a more hype live stream. That's it. That's all that you're going to accomplish. Now you might get like 10, 15, maybe a little bit more donators while it's going on, but you will not actually succeed from this. It's all a big scam. So when people like Tophiachu are jealous that they didn't get the opportunity to go, well, Tophiachu, you do realize you could have done the same thing as them from your house, just like feeding off the drama, been like, hey, this happened, that happened, and start talking trash about it a little bit in a very similar fashion to what you're doing right now. In fact, you've been jealous about this is one of the funniest things you've done in a long time. So yeah, you are creating content off of it. It's like Tophiachu thought if Kai Cenat invited her to that college thing, whatever he was doing, that she would have blew up. No, that would have went so poorly for you, Tophiachu. Literally every content creator would be running to your room every single day, getting on your nerves, pretending to be your friend, and when it was all said and done, it would just be a bunch of bad clips of you. You wouldn't have a single extra follower, maybe a couple, and you certainly wouldn't have got the house, but I don't even think that matters because now Tophiachu is setting us up for the house doesn't mean anything anymore, because if you own a house, you gotta pay taxes and stuff like that, things that Mamachu has mentioned in the past, and it's just so crazy because it's like, so what do you actually want, Tophiachu? Is the car the best you're ever gonna get? Is the car like your end all be all for living in a home? Look, you can live here, you can move places, you can go anywhere you want in a car. Can your house move? No, I didn't think so. This isn't the Flintstones, homies. It's like, yes, there's problems with every single thing in the world. If you like start boiling it down like that, you are just gonna be a miserable person, just like Tophiachu. With houses, you got taxes. With cars, you're more easily accessible to people in the streets, not a good thing. You live in a hotel room, all kinds of walks of life are coming in and out. You never really know who you're gonna meet or who you're surrounded by. You live in an apartment, you are closer to your neighbors than you ever want to be. You gotta end this coping and actually start trying to build up your life. You are 30-something years old with zero skills and zero job prospects. If you were anybody else and you didn't have TikTok to fall back on even slightly, this would be a terrifying situation.
Do you know that these TikTokers are not learning their lesson like Kai Cenat? Wait till they end up like Musically. Wait till they end up like Musers with no money. No money, and all their money went into a house, and then they say, well, I screwed up and spent all my money. I don't know, I'm so... Oh, and actually I got an offer, so I don't know. I need to figure some stuff out because I want to do some new merch designs, but someone reached out to me from one of the merch websites about selling merch and helping me sell my merch and make money. So that, and I got some other stuff too, but yeah, basically from one of the websites, they reached out to me and they're like, yeah, so we can help you push your merch, put it out there. And I was like, okay. I do not care. These other influencers do not care. They don't care about anybody but themselves. They don't care about anything but making money and numbers. They don't care about anything but flashy items and materialistic stuff. They do not care. There are other people who are literally struggling to try to come up and be some sort of, well, not even trying to be content creators, but other influencers are shitty. They host these parties where you have to have 1 million followers, and if you don't have 1 million followers, you can't go to the party. They have no care in the world. Most of them aren't even posting about ICE, are they? Or they can care less. F everybody else that's struggling, that's starving, that's hungry, that's going through something. I don't see some of these large influencers talking about none of the real world issues or the politics. Told people to go vote, and you want to say they bought a house before me? Of course. They don't gotta worry. The climate's in shambles. They don't care. Where are y'all on their pages saying, who did you vote for?
What kind of memory holing was that last segment when Tophiachu was talking about how TikTok's gone Kai Cenat is cooked? Even though he has like multiple platforms and does things all over the place, so I don't think his money would dry up. And even if he did lose every bit of his internet clout, guess what? I guarantee you that dude has made up enough money to last him for a very, very long time, maybe even a lifetime. Depends on how he spends it, invests it, but all in all, I'm gonna say you do just fine compared to how you would do, Tophiachu, because when TikTok was gone, like how long ago was that, guys? Like 5, maybe 6 months ago, you and Nova were crashing out super hard and shook that your one main income was gone. If you lose TikTok, you have nothing, like absolutely nothing going for you. Don't throw stones when you live in a glass house. You even know yourself that you should be doing YouTube content, but you just refuse to because you're being lazy about it. That's just the simple truth of the matter. You have all the time in the world. Like, this should be the time in your life where you're a hustler, a go-getter, but you're far more concerned with talking to internet catfishes and complaining that other influencers aren't as politically active as you are, Tophiachu. And I don't even think of you as a political content creator. Because let me just say this, I don't care about any content creators' politics that I watch. I just don't give a damn. It's none of my business. It's none of my concern. I don't care what they're hyping up at the end of the day unless it's absolutely deplorable. But you care for some reason. You are not a political channel. You are the one who brings this up time and time again. If someone brings up a political thing, it's your responsibility to decide to not talk about it or talk about it, because one of the biggest ways to divide a fan base is to talk about politics, your crappy opinions. And I just literally couldn't care what Tophiachu's political stances are. And to be 100% honest, it would have been a lot better for your career if you would have just never brought that crap up, if you would have just kept it to yourself. But no, you like to crash out over it and like virtue signal.
I cannot be posting a lot because I have personal issues. One being that I am not homeless. I am slightly homeless, but I have to find a place to live. And to pile stuff on top of someone and to tell someone, well, you know, you're not this, you're not here, you're not here. Neither, so the fuck you're not either. You're not there either. Excuse my language. But it's true. Did you buy a fucking house? Are you Wendy Ortiz buying a fucking house? No, you're not. House if you ain't ever gonna buy a house in your lifetime. What are we doing with our lives? Buying a house is supposed to be a highlight of someone's life? Yeah, it is an accomplishment to buy a house. You've been at the bottom of the barrel. You talk about other people like you're somebody, but you're not. And I'm so sick and tired of it. I've helped people, and I actually don't have to go online and say that I help people. You know, when someone asked me for, like, I was walking with a box of pizza, right? Because I was going to go for lunch to hang out with my friend for lunch, and I did carry a pizza, but I didn't know that day she wasn't working. Anyways, point being is that I got out right after I got off the bus. This homeless man was laying there. He said, can I have a slice of pizza? I could have did one of two things. I could have told him to F off and say, no, I bought this pizza, go get you some. No, but I did give him pizza, and he was not the only homeless person to ask me for pizza that day. Not only that, I have been kind and courteous to people in real life, which is why people like me and people are my friends. He left himself homeless. I didn't leave my father homeless. He left himself homeless. If he chooses not to get himself help, that's on him. Okay, so want to continue? It's not on me. He's a grown adult. He's in his 60s. He can take care of himself. You don't always have to take care of your parents just because they took care of you. That's like your mom saying, well, you need to give me money because I gave you money when you were... No, that's your job. You chose to have kids and take care of them, so you take care of the kids. Those kids didn't ask to be brought in the world where you're talking about GoFundMe money. I literally made $3,000 in January, which was going to buy an RV, by the way. I was saving money to buy an RV. But I realized RVs were becoming too expensive because we were living in our car. So we decided we were going to buy an RV. Thank you for the gift. We found this giant it was an old Winnebago. It did need some upkeep on the inside. It was only $500. But at the time, we didn't have the money because the money went to pay the storage. I was going to pay for my brother to get towed. We had car issues because he was trying to get his car fixed, and the other car was having issues on top of the other car because we had 3 cars at the time. My brother had a convertible BMW, the spray painted Honda, and the SUV, which was having issues. So we had 2 cars that were having issues. The Honda ran great. It's just that we were trying to get the check engine light fixed. The money went to storage, to other bills, and then after that, the money that I had saved for the RV, it was just gone. by that point, we didn't have anything. I was still able to go to Comic-Con, get all the signatures that I wanted, and still be able to save for a RV. We still had the money for an RV, but some RVs, people just was overpricing them. And the one that we saw for $500, some guy showed up to look at it, and she ended up selling it to them.
It's so crazy how Tophiachu flip-flops on her ideals on Papachu from stream to stream. One stream, we were trying so hard to get Papachu into that car. You guys have no idea. The VA just wouldn't help him, and we were left with no option. Till right now, she's like, listen, I'm not going to help Papachu. He's 60-some years old. I didn't ask to get born into this world. This is him and Mamachu's fault. You got to be thinking Mamachu's sitting in the corner right now like, oh no, Big Toph is gonna throw me out this time. I mean, Mamachu should really be worried, because it really goes to show what we was talking about when everything first occurred with Brother Chu, and we was like, what happened to Mamachu? She doesn't really seem to care all that much. She probably didn't. She probably saw Mamachu as a burden, and now that Mamachu's getting a little bit more money, feeding her again, well, Mamachu can now stay here. But if things go wrong once again, she's on the Papachu level anymore. Tophiachu didn't get asked to be born into this world, so Mamachu, you gotta walk the streets, go into a home, it doesn't quite matter. Everything just flip-flops in the Chu-verse. And what's even crazier is that Mamachu is going to contradict Tophiachu's statements just later in this video. She's going to be talking about how much she loves Papachu so much, and she's doing anything in her power to get him back. And like, maybe Mamachu is, but we all know who the leader of the Chu crew is. It's Tofia. And another very frustrating thing that Tofia constantly flip-flops on is the living situation when the Chu cruiser was active. There were so many opportunities for you guys to improve your life, but you just absolutely never did. Whether it was Tophiachu refusing help from a certain uncle, then saying that none of her family members would help her, then going on to say that yeah, those same uncles were offering her $500 for the RV, they should have just asked, to them deciding to go to Comic-Con instead of paying $500 for an RV. Now, we don't know how that RV looked, but she said she just needed to fix up the inside a little bit. $500 for an RV that runs is a crazy good deal. And you squandered it for no other reason than you wanted to go to a Comic-Con. Something that happens every single year, multiple days in a year. It just depends on what one you go to. This is the same exact problem with the GoFundMe, Tofia. This is what you do every time. When people figured out that you was getting the money and it was up to your discretion where it goes, they were like, it's going to a Comic-Con. It's going to useless crap, and I have just wasted my money. You are the peak of learned helplessness. It doesn't matter what you get, who gives you anything, you just believe that because you exist, you deserve help, and that when things go wrong, when you spend too much money on a Comic-Con, people should just help you again, and that's just not how the world works. Empathy only goes so far.
So my uncle was like, well, you could have just told us like, hey, there's this RV we want to get. It's $500. Can you help us? But my mom and my brother didn't want to reach out to any of her brothers to ask them for money because they wanted to do it on their own. I was like, yeah, we can. He was like, we need to find some stuff to pawn or put stuff together to raise the $500. We were outdoor dashing almost every night. Whenever I would have money come in, my brother would be like, which I didn't mind helping him. He wanted to finish paying off this car, which was the Jetta. He had a Jetta. Before he had the SUV, he had the Honda. No, wait. He had the SUV, the Jetta, and the Honda. He didn't have the BMW at the time. And when we were in town suites, he was like, I need this X amount of money to pay off the guy and get this car. So I was like, sure. I had to help pay for certain cars because I was like, you know what, we need a car. He needs a car because he works. He was working at the time at his Jimmy John's job, but he was also doing DoorDash on the side. He was DoorDashing with his buddy to make rent money while I was going live because I had to make up for the month because yes, of course, people know I was using my dad's disability because he said we could to pay up until we couldn't pay, because we can't really pay a full month. So I had to pay whatever the week was. I had to take that up, and I was paying that for a while. My brother started door dashing, and then he got this job to be able to pay for the room. He had just barely started, and he would pay, and then I would pay, and then he would pay when I didn't make enough to pay, which was like one time. But most of his money was going for himself. It wasn't really like he was paying rent all the time, because he wasn't really paying rent all the time. I was the one who was paying most of the rent. Every month, it was me paying the rent. A lot of these places, I was the one that kept up the rent with my social media. A lot of people, most of the time, if it's a controversial person, they will collab with them, because that brings more money, and they know that's what brings in money. But right now, I'm not about trying to collab with people when I'm trying to get a place to live. Where are your priorities? You literally tell me that I'm not doing anything to get a place to live, and then when I mention something, you're like, well, yeah, because... No, it isn't because of that. I can collab with people. I just choose not to, because I have to worry about myself and my living situation before I worry about other things.
It's so crazy. When Brother Chu was around and when he was in the car, Tophiachu was hyping him up. Like, listen, Brother Chu is saving our life every single day. He's paying for everything. I'm only making $197, which that is confirmed. You was only making around $200 to $197 from TikTok. Like, we all know that. You've said it yourself, Tophiachu. But now that he's not around and you want to brag about things, well, Brother Chu just didn't help at all. When if he didn't like DoorDash every single night, if he didn't go to work, if he didn't have those cars, and let me be real, Brother Chu didn't need all of those cars. He should have been like focusing on an apartment. But what was you doing during that time, Tophiachu? You was telling them that, hey, we're not gonna rent, I'm not putting my name on anything because you guys are just gonna ruin it for me. So no, we're just gonna sit in this car until I decide that we need to move out. It's really disgusting what you're doing, and Brother Chu isn't even a person to defend, and you even admitted towards the end of that segment that you don't even really help your own self out. You are a content creator, Tophiachu. You should be doing everything in your power to grow, to be earning more money off TikTok, especially since the situation that you're in. You should be battling people. You should be going up onto panels, talking to other influencers, content creators who you could expand your audience towards. And like we said towards the beginning of this video, you have nothing else better to do. This should be all you're focused on. The real reason that you don't do that is because you don't want to end up like the last time. I can't even think of her name right now, but she's like a judge or something, like quote unquote judge on TikTok. She was busting your patty melt down, Tofia, and you broke down in tears because she was telling you things that you don't want to hear, but it's the truth. And if you could just check your emotions and like go on to those, and even if you was getting rage baited a little bit, it would be good content. There would be more people coming to your channel. You could put it in subscription only mode, and guess what? You'd be earning some money off this, but you choose not to every single day. You choose the worst option, and you are going to continue to be in the spot you're in because you won't change it. But now we're going to move on to Mamachu's station head live streams. And these are really funny because everything Mamachu says completely destroys every narrative Tophiachu has tried to build up for the last couple of months.
My daughter didn't get no money from the state. What she got was they paid for her room and they fed her because she didn't have a way to feed herself at that time. And that's it. The state pays directly. Oh yeah, my daughter paid for your Applebee's. With what money? It is. It's everybody's fault. Okay. I'm not discussing my son's friends. I'm sorry. No, she spent what she was able to. Thank you. Oh, really? Why do I have to escape my daughter? She's taking damn good care of me. I don't care what anybody says. My family did not know we were homeless. And I didn't want to stay with my brother. Why do you think he's not on live anymore? I mean, saying stuff. I gave him a call and told him if he said anything else, if he lied about me again, I was going to tell everybody what really went on. My brother's not the person you guys are thinking he is. Uh, no, okay, yeah, I'm glad they showed me. He didn't offer us a place to stay. And yeah, my daughter says things, but she's not thinking when she says it. Yeah, but one of my brothers isn't sticking together. Thank you. Oh, really? My brothers will put me up in a heartbeat. They would give me a place. Yes, I have, but I won't go there. I don't go to my brothers because then the trolls will start harassing them. That's a shame. No, my eyes are wide open, thank you. They've been wide open. But I'll tell you what, you're the one that needs help. Oh, really? I would be in a nice warm house if the trolls would leave us alone. If they would stop evicting us, I'd be in a nice warm house. Oh, really? You can blame my daughter all you want to. Oh, I believe her lies. Oh, I'm not looking at what she's doing. Oh, I don't have eyes. I'm sorry. It had to do with my daughter not getting paid on time. So my son, when she doesn't get paid on time, my son takes over and he went to get the money out for rent. But then the maid evicted us. She had no business, but she did. Oh yeah, we tried this. We didn't try this out in the hotel TV. Oh really? My daughter doesn't get paid in pennies. She does a lot of things. She's getting paid from TikTok. TikTok shop. She's been doing stuff with other people. I forgot what it's called. She makes videos for companies. She gets paid on Instagram. TikTok shop. I'm not gonna answer that. She doesn't want anybody to know how much she makes.
Right off the rip, Mamachu lets us know that Tofia was earning far more money than we even suspected. We know Tophiachu was raking in the cash off her Cash App, and also the government was feeding her, the government was housing her for a minute. How much money did Tophiachu blow through in a matter of, it was like a month. It didn't even take that long for all of the money to be gone. And yeah, when you're in the situation Tophiachu was in, you're going to be spending more money overall because of the necessities that you need. But there was absolutely no excuse for it to be blown through that fast, and Mamachu is either just sweeping for her or believing every single lie that Tophiachu feeds her. And it's really disgusting because a majority of that money should have went to saving and getting Mamachu and Tofia a place. I personally do not believe that Tophiachu didn't have enough money to at least put a down payment on rent or something so that they could move into a house, and then she could have started grinding on TikTok, doing battles and things like that to earn more money to continue paying for rent. And we know that Tophiachu was using Papachu's disability check. I don't know if he still gets it because he's a felon now. I mean, he was probably a felon back then as well, so it probably still happens to help out. The dude's in jail every other week. How would he be in control of his money? And it's not like you guys haven't taken advantage of him in the past. And Mamachu should really watch defending Tofia because she could just look at Papachu and know that's the situation that she will be in if Tophiachu finds that she does not help anymore. Like, you need to stop defending Tophiachu and actually putting some pressure on her. That's why she's like this. That's why she's 30 and never had a job for longer than a week. But I guess that's where we'll leave it off here today, guys. If you enjoyed the video, make sure to drop a like, subscribe, hype the video, I guess. It's like a new feature YouTube does. Comment down below, follow all the socials, and I'll catch you guys next time.